Jane, I want to start with you. How have you found the process of having your work adapted for screen?
You know, it's been really wonderful working with these guys, Made Up Stories, Robert Connolly. They have been really, really enjoyable to work with. I mean, it's a big leap of faith, I think, handing your novel over to someone to adapt. But when it's with people who I think really understand the story, they want to tell it well, they want to tell it in a way that readers are going to enjoy. It couldn't be better.
Good. Glad we're on the same page.
Jodi, as a producer, what were the challenges shooting on location, particularly in Dandenong Ranges?
There were so many challenges with this film. And look, because character is driven so much through the landscape, and it's so important in all of Jane's work, and is one of the things that, you know, we really responded to when we read The Dry and then when we read Force of Nature. For us, like when we made The Dry, we didn't want to cheat it. You know, we really wanted to put these characters in the middle of the most dense, difficult part of these remote locations. So you had that sense of scale, you had that sense of claustrophobia, you had that sense of panic of, oh my goodness, how are they going to get out? They are in real trouble. And we wanted that for the authenticity. And that made it, on a production level, very, very challenging. And I would say to our location managers, how did you even find this? This is so far off the beaten track. We were in the middle of nowhere.
And in the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter. The conditions were so crazy that we were filming in. It was funny, I was laughing with Eric just before, talking about, there's a sequence where he and Robin McLeavy's character have to go in the water underneath a waterfall. When we went there the first time, it was a very impressive waterfall. We didn't realize they were going to have such rain, and it was like a raging torrent when we actually turned up to film it. It was raining sideways. The water was just like unbelievable. The currents were crazy. It was so dangerous, and they had to be in that water for hours. And the conditions were so hard, our cameras broke. And so they were trying to fix the cameras so we could get the shot. It was crazy, mud, leeches, rain, people falling down hills. It was everything and more, but it shows on screen and we think it was worth it.
They reckon they did 8 or 9 hours of what they call hard walking due north before they hit the road, which means that Alice has now been on her own for more than 30 hours.
This is not the last book in the Aaron Falk series. Exiles, will we expect to see him return to the big screen?
Oh, look, I mean, I would love to see Exiles made. I think, for me, it would have to be, the same team. I think that's really important, and I think that's what, I would want and what readers would want and audiences would want, because they've done such a beautiful job with The Dry and Force of Nature. Exiles is the final book in 3 books featuring Aaron Falk. It's the end of his story, and I loved writing that book and wrapping up his sort of personal journey. So for me, it would be wonderful, but I think it depends, like so many things, on commercial decisions, and that involves people going to the cinema and embracing this film in a way they did with The Dry as well.
And we were so happy that audiences here and around the world embraced The Dry to the point where we were able to make Force of Nature, and we would love to continue the journey. And so we really hope that people go to the cinema and see Force of Nature and love it as much as they did The Dry.
Out there, nature holds us all to account.